welcome back. It is the second edition of Ask an American, Ask a Canadian. I am your Canadian, Alexandra.
I'm your American, Ryder White.
They have two names in America. We only need one up here.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings us to our first question of the day. Our only question of the day. Our second question overall. And that's from Jamie Savage in beautiful British Columbia. She has asked us, what's the difference between Canadians and Americans?
I think the difference between Canadians and Americans is that Canadians ask that question. And Americans don't, if you didn't get where I was going with that. But really, I think it's that, Canadians, and this is not really like a quality judgment on either one or the other. It's sort of a subjective thing, but Canadians look out and Americans look in, I think, for the most part. And obviously you can't generalize nations of 35 million and 300 million people, respectively, down to saying everybody has the exact same perspective on the world. But on the whole trend, I'd say that Canadians are much more focused on what's happening outside the country, and Americans are much more focused on what's happening inside their country.
That's interesting, because I almost want to say that I feel like, in a lot of ways, Americans look out and Canadians look in, but slightly different than you mean, I think. I think. Hear me out. I feel like in the United States, everyone knows what it means to be an American. So even if it's maybe if you feel like it's not looking outside of its borders, I feel like it's definitely projecting outward and saying, it's like, this is who we are. And I think you suck and I think you guys suck, but the rest of us are pretty good and this and that. Like every country has its thing going on. Whereas in Canada, we sit here and we're like, what's going on? Why do we have this? Who are we? What are we doing up here? What's going on? And I remember hearing on a radio program, there was a survey, and they said Canadians were in the top 10 worst dressed in the world. And I was really offended. I think I have a nice sweater on.
It's got a bird on it.
It has a bird. I put a bird on it. See? It's a nice sweater. Anyway, so they said, and it was out of Switzerland, I believe. And so this radio program called the people who did the study. And we're like, hey, can you explain to us why we're in the top 10? Why are we so bad? And they laughed and said, that's probably why. You're the only country that called us. You're the only country, the only group of people who thought to ask why you were on the worst dressed list, because no one else cares. And really, you should have more pride and just not worry about what other people think. Maybe you're all too self-conscious and that's why you're on the worst dressed list.
Yeah, but I think that's, I don't know. I think that's probably why the world is in such the state it is because continuous self-examination is ridiculed by the international community. It's taken as a sign of weakness to be constantly reevaluating yourself and what you mean to the world around you. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we all did that, the world would probably be in a better place because we'd be continually assessing the values of our judgments and our actions on a global stage. So I don't know. That's kind of the way I feel about it. Plus, who doesn't love plaid? I love plaid. That's why I moved to Canada.
True.
So it is kind of being up here is kind of like having an existential crisis topped with maple syrup in a lot of ways. Yeah.
But at least there's maple syrup on your existential crisis.
It's the only way to have it.
Really.
Great. Well, that's time for this week, folks. Thanks for watching. Ask a Canadian, ask an American. Till next time, go North America.